The Wolfpack's an original ACC member. And whereas those neighbors down the road, Duke, have 22 ACC titles, and those other neighbors down the road, Carolina, have 18 ACC titles. Tonight's opponent for the Wolfpack, of course, that made it so much sweeter that not only was the Wolfpack ending a 37-year ACC title drought, they were doing it against the hated Tar Heels, who, oh, by the way, may get a #1 seed to the NCAA tournament. But I want to frame this, while we get into all sorts of other things, I want to frame this in a way that maybe even some Wolfpack fans don't completely understand, because everybody's heard about the 37-year drought. You mentioned 5 wins in 5 days. That has happened a handful of times in all of Division I men's basketball. It has never happened until now in the Atlantic Coast Conference tournament. Even Virginia Tech a couple years ago, when they were a surprise ACC champion, for the Hokies, it was 4 wins in 4 days. So this is truly unprecedented territory in the 71-year history of the Atlantic Coast Conference. End of a 37-year drought. 5 wins in 5 days. Oh, by the way, the last 3 of those wins were against #2 seed Duke, #3 seed Virginia, and #1 seed North Carolina. So it's not like it was bracket havoc and the Wolfpack took advantage of some kind of less difficult road. No, they went straight for the jugular through the 3 winningest teams in this league. And that adds kind of another layer to this cake. The lowest seed ever to win this event prior to this year was the Hokies 2 years ago as a #7 seed. For almost 50 years prior to that, Mike, the 6th seed was the lowest to ever win the ACC tournament. Remember Wally Walker and the Virginia Cavaliers of Terry Holland way back in 1976. Also Jimmy V and not that cardiac pack of 83, but a different type of cardiac pack in 1987. They won as a 6th seed. So for almost 50 years, the correct answer to the trivia question, who's the lowest seed ever to win the ACC tournament, was a 6th seed. 2 years ago, it became a 7th seed. Here, amidst all these layers of history for the Wolfpack, the answer is now a 10 seed. The NC State Wolfpack 10 seed that just pulled it off in front of all of our eyes, in front of a largely pro-Carolina audience here at Capital One Arena. 5 wins in 5 days. Oh, by the way, in 71 years, Mike, there are only 4 ACC teams that had a losing conference record during the regular season and yet won the conference championship. The Wolfpack was 9-11 in conference play. There's only 3 other examples of going from a losing ACC regular season record to cutting down the nets at the ACC tournament. One was Terry Holland, that famous 76 team. One was Jimmy V, that famous 1987 Wolfpack team. And one was Gary Williams in Maryland in 2004. So think about it. Kevin Keats just added his name to a list that includes, I would argue, 3 of the 10 most famous coaches in ACC history. Terry Holland, Jimmy V, and Gary Williams, right? They're somewhere on that list, and now Kevin Keats' name is on that list as well. Nobody should underestimate the incredible, amazing, mesmerizing, unpredictable, wild, fun, crazy nature of what we all just witnessed. It was incredible to watch. It was fun to watch the players celebrate. I was at the post game to see the downtrodden Carolina players and their coach Hubert Davis really struggle, especially in Coach Davis's case, with his emotions, because the Tar Heels, remember, have only won 1 ACC title since 2008. That's a pretty long drought by their standards. That one, of course, was not too long ago, but at this point now the Tar Heels have almost, not quite, but almost a decade-long ACC tournament title drought. The Wolfpack drought ends at 37 years, and that means it's not only the men's basketball drought that they can stop hearing about in Wolfpack Nation.